The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. This is Serene from Wheels Up Network, and I'm here with Tom from Palladium Hotel Group. We have a fantastic webinar here for you today and a great prize as well. I just want to remind you all of just some short and sweet housekeeping rules. First of all, you are muted, so if you have any questions during the webinar, you can use your control panel to go ahead and type in questions throughout the webinar, and then I'll be able to read them to Tom at the end so that he can answer your questions. I'll remind you at the end as well, so if you think of anything, you can do that, and I will be providing his contact information in the follow-up email tomorrow. Today we have a great prize for you. So Palladium has so generously offered a free night stay for two at the TRS Turquesa Hotel. Now, in order to win, you do have to stay until the end of the webinar, and then the winner will be announced in an upcoming Wheels Up Network newsletter, so stay tuned. And just a reminder that this webinar is being recorded, so the link will be shared with you in the follow-up email as well. Thank you so much, and welcome, Tom.
Thanks, Serene, and welcome to all you Wheels Up agents. Today, we've got a very special presentation for you, and it's Palladium Hotel Group's version of how do you take clients and turn them into fans. Now, why is that important? Well, the reason for that is important is because the fact that fans are recurring guests. They love you, they love the product, they love you, they want to come back more and more. So that's really what we want to do, is we want to turn those clients into fans. So let's look and see how we do that. Well, first of all, we kind of want to make sure that you're familiar with Palladium Hotel. We're a Spanish hotel company based in Ibiza, Spain. We have a number of different brands that you may recognize, some of which are Hard Rock, but we're Hard Rock Europe, and TRS, of course, Grand Palladium. Ushuaia is the #1 entertainment hotel in the world, and we've received that designation from the Las Vegas Entertainment Hotel Association about 5 years in a row. One of our newest brands is actually Bless, and that is a leading hotel of the world brand. It's actually city hotels in not only in Ibiza, but also in Madrid as well. So that is Palladium Hotel Group, consisting of about 50 separate hotels. So we'll move along for today's purposes, however, and how do we learn how to take their guests and turn them into wonderful returning fans, is we're going to talk about two brands, one of which is Palladium Hotels and Resorts. So whenever you see the word Grand Palladium, I want you to think couples, singles, and families. Whenever you see the word TRS, that is five-star luxury for adults only. So the difference is adults only, and the other one is couples, singles, and families. So whole group of guests. So let's take a look at our TRS hotels, just to give you an idea as to where they are. TRS Yucatan is, of course, in the Riviera Maya. TRS Turquesa is our property sitting right on Bávaro Beach in Punta Cana, the Dominican Republic. Then we have TRS Coral, which is certainly one of the beautiful leading hotels of the world. It's located about 30 minutes to the north of the Cancun airport. And then TRS Cap Cana, a wonderful, wonderful destination for meetings or weddings and so on, located about 10 minutes outside of the Cap Cana airport in Punta Cana. So as we mentioned, our property in just north of Cancun in the Costa Mujeres area is one of the leading hotels in the world. So a very special group of 350 of the top hotels anywhere in the world. So today we are going to turn guests into fans, but how do we do that? Well, we do that at Palladium by giving them just about everything. So we want to give them our all. So we have a lot of ways to do that. So we've got activities. So we do that by having a variety of activities that are going to keep them busy all the time. So incredible tennis facilities. We've got fun parties all the time, like foam parties in the pool, like exercise activities of all types. We actually feature our Zentropia spa at all of our properties. Zentropia is some of the largest spas anywhere in the Caribbean or Mexico. And of course, the wonderful beach activities where we incorporate the guests for them to have fun all the time. Now, we love to celebrate, and celebrations are kind of a fun thing. In the U.S., of course, there are special days like the 4th of July, Thanksgiving that we just had that we love to celebrate, but there's certainly other countries, our wonderful neighbor countries to the north in Canada have Canada Day, our neighbors to the south have Argentina Day, and so on. Everybody loves to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, but think of all the wonderful holidays that at times your guests are away and, well, you want to make sure that they celebrate. Well, we want to make sure that they do not miss their celebration days. And so the wonderful aspect of it is that literally on just about every special national holiday for our guests around the world, we actually celebrate that day with them and for them at all of our resorts. So, for example, on Canada Day, at all of our resorts, all of our featured people of Palladium, which are our animation team and so on, have a whole day of activities to celebrate the wonderful, wonderful country of Canada, 4th of July. We do the same thing, just all kinds of activities. As I said, just for the Thanksgiving Day in the U.S., we had wonderful, wonderful activities. But if you think of Easter and you think of Christmas and all the wonderful holidays, these are things that you may want to, instead of when your guest is there, oh, gee, we were there for the 4th of July, you want to make sure that you plan to have them there for these wonderful holidays, because we actually go crazy and have a wonderful, wonderful time celebrating with the guests. So that gives you a little bit of impetus to plan ahead as opposed to just necessarily be there on the day of the activity. Well, now we also celebrate wellness at all of our resorts. And so how do we do that? Well, of course, there's the best way to do that, even to start off with Global Wellness Day. So we do that, again, all of these activities are at all of our hotels. So Global Wellness Day, we celebrate yoga. We do it in a number of different ways. Yoga at the beach. We actually enjoy stand-up paddle yoga in the pools. And we have that on a variety of different days. We have running clinics. Just about anything that has to do with wellness or exercise, we do at our resorts. So your guests really come healthy. We have teams of people to help them out. If they're, as I said, if they're special exercises is running, we have running clubs and so on. So we do just about everything to keep our guests healthy, and not necessarily usually healthy, wealthy, and wise, but certainly wise and certainly healthy. And the wealthy, we lift them up to them. Now, attractions on property. Well, you know, a lot of the guests, when they go on holiday or they go on vacation, they want to make sure that they see other things, special things that are likened to the destination. So, of course, many of our properties are located next to wonderful, wonderful attractions, and actually not very far. Because the last thing a guest wants to do is spend a lot of time in a bus trying to get to a particular destination. Interestingly enough, a lot of our hotels are very nearby, maybe like 10 or 15 minutes away from some of the major attractions at the destinations. So, for example, the beautiful ruins at Tulum. Our hotel in the Riviera Maya is just about 15 minutes to the north of Tulum. Our hotel in Puerto Vallarta, north in Riviera Nayarit, is about, maybe 15 to 20 minutes away from the beautiful surf town of Sayulita. And then also again in the Riviera Maya, we're not far from places where you can go swim with the whale sharks, or guests certainly want to go see cenotes, whether the cenotes are in Punta Cana, the Dominican Republic, or in the Riviera Maya. We're very, very close to them. In fact, we actually even have a cenote on property at our Riviera Maya property. So again, when you think of activities, we're very, very close. And entertainment, that is where we shine. Entertainment everywhere, from just incredible sports bars where there's entertainment all day long. Your favorite teams, whether it be American football or soccer or European football, we feature them. There is entertainment in and around our pool areas, literally all day long, and it's not unusual. You might be swimming around the pool, and all of a sudden you'll hear this incredible operatic music, and what it is we've got almost a group very similar to the Three Tenors or Evolo, just singing their hearts out. And one section there might be, as you see in the upper photograph there, you might see a saxophone player in the lobby as you check in, or even over in areas where we feature Chic Cabaret, which is actually the #1 entertainment and dining feature in the entire destination of Cancun. There is pre-shows for that. We welcome our guests to come watch the pre-show and really enjoy themselves. So, as I said, there's entertainment throughout all of our hotels all day long. And, of course, boy, we got the locations for them. So, as I mentioned, we've got one property, our Grand Palladium Riviera Maya, is 15 minutes to the north of Tulum and about 20 minutes to the south of Playa Car. And over to the right photograph, and that's our property at Costa Mujeres. That is about 35 minutes to the north of the Cancun airport. Then we have our property in Jamaica. There we're about 30 minutes outside of Montego Bay. And then from our location, we're another 30 minutes on to Negril. So halfway between Montego Bay and Negril. Another one of our properties, as I mentioned, is north of Puerto Vallarta, about 30 minutes to the north of Puerto Vallarta, but in the beautiful, beautiful area of Punta Mita, which is along the Riviera Nayarit. And then the last property you see at the bottom, that's our property in Cap Cana, and we are just about 10 minutes outside of the Punta Cana airport, so very, very close. So now, meet our new fans. And our new fans, of course, are your guests that you sent to us. And they're kind of looking at seeing which property is their favorite, because they come on our properties and, boy, what they want to do is they want to show all the friends at home that they are new fans of Palladium Hotel Group. So here they are taking selfies and sending them back home. As you can tell, they are enjoying, really having a great time. So let's take a look at where our properties, again, are. So we're in Jamaica. As I said, we're halfway between Montego Bay and Negril. And the property is quite large. We've got about 1,500 rooms. There's two sections to it. The blue section at the bottom is Grand Palladium Jamaica, and the yellow roof properties to the lower portion of the photograph is Grand Palladium Lady Hamilton. So again, this entire property is couples, singles, and families. And you notice that Zentropia, one of our huge Zentropia spas here for the luxury of our guests. And when you think of the Zentropia spa, we want you to think in terms of, instead of the guests saying, oh, gee, they had a spa, these are destinations for guests that guests want to go on a spa vacation. So there's quite a bit of difference between, oh, they had a spa, to, boy, I want to go on a spa vacation. Who has some of the best ones? And that's Palladium Hotel Group with their Zentropia brand spas. So here is our property. The central, most exciting part, of course, is the pool, one of the largest pools in the Caribbean. To the left-hand side of the photograph is going to be Grand Palladium Jamaica, and the other side is Grand Palladium Lady Hamilton. So we have a little bit different look in the properties. Both, however, have that kind of a colonial Jamaican look to them. So this is our lobby in the Jamaica side. Here's the Jamaica side once again. And then currently, right now, this is the palette or the book of the interiors of our hotels. So the kind of the look of the inside, we have both junior suites and suites for your guests to be able to choose from. All the rooms all come, and all the rooms in all of our hotels all come with jacuzzi hot tubs in the room. But we're going to be going through some changes and some beautiful renovations during the year 2020, just coming up. So this is the look or the new palette for our Grand Palladium Jamaica side of our hotel. We're going to be, of course, doing this in phases. So take a few months and do a couple of villas, and then we do a couple of more villas, and so on, so as not to really disturb the guests that are there. But after the end of 2020, this is what all of the rooms in the villas are going to look like. So we move on to Lady Hamilton, and Lady Hamilton just on the other side of that fantastic pool that I mentioned to you. Lady Hamilton's a little bit closer to the three main beaches. Of course, the one is at the top of the photograph there, where it's kind of surrounded by that kind of a coral atoll, which makes a beautiful beach there. Small beach in the front there is for adults only. And of course, our activity beach is just to the south of that, and that is what we call Sunset Cove. So great for snorkeling, great for sailing, great for stand-up paddleboarding. Just kind of another view of it. From this view, we look on to all the buildings that are out there on the promontory, also part of the Lady Hamilton and Palladium. But these are our honeymoon villa suites. We actually have 48 of those, and we're really, really proud to show you those in just a second, because the reason for that is it's very, very popular for people for romance getaways and honeymoons and so on. So here we do want to show that we're very, very versatile here in the fact of love to do weddings at our Jamaica property, and just one of the many venues we have is our gazebo out here, kind of on the top of that point there, just adjacent to the adult swimming pool. So now we're going to take a look at the honeymoon villa suites, and you can see again the kind of the colonial look to it. But the palette here, and particularly all of Lady Hamilton, we changed a couple of years, about 2 years ago, and it's now these beautiful kind of golds and browns and so on. Beautiful, beautiful interiors. And of the honeymoon villa suites, large room, you come into the room and you look and you have this wonderful, huge bed. Behind that is this wall that we're showing right here, and behind that is the bathroom. And I call this the playroom because the jacuzzi there, just to give you an idea of the size, if you put you could actually put 6 people sitting in that jacuzzi and would fit just fine. And of course, the kind of piece de resistance is the outdoor enclosed Mayan shower we have at all of the honeymoon villa suites. So, as I said, it makes for a very, very incredibly romantic experience. And once again, in the evening, that's when all the activity really, really comes alive. Well, actually, in the early evening, because if you go to the top of this bar area and you kind of look out, you're going to get some of the most incredible sunsets, so great for photo opportunities. The restaurants are just wonderful, wonderful food in a variety of different tastes for the ever-discerning palate of your guests. The names, however, some of these names you may want to remember because the names, a lot of the names are very similar from one property to the next. So whether you're in our property in Jamaica, whether you're in your property in the Riviera Maya, you'll see a lot of similar names based on the type of food. So El Dorado was always going to be our steakhouse. Bogoli is going to be our Indian restaurant. Obviously, there'll be our Mexican restaurant. Suntory, of course, is always going to be our Mexican restaurant, and so on. But of course, here we are in Jamaica, and so we do have to have the jerk pit, and yes, we do. So we've got jerk available at a couple of different places. This one is actually located a little bit more close to Sunset Cove. But here we go. Let's take a look at Mexico, the Pacific side of Mexico, and this is Riviera Nayarit. So once again, we're about 30 minutes to the north of the Puerto Vallarta Airport in a beautiful area called Punta Mita. Here, the property sits up on the top of a cliff. It looks down on just the most beautiful, incredible Pacific Ocean. But here we are. Just wanted to show you a quick map. You see where the location of Punta Mita is, and that's where our hotel is located. So the town of Puerto Vallarta is actually located in the middle of the Bay of Banderas, which is actually the largest bay in all of Mexico. But we're way up to the top. And that is actually important because the town of Puerto Vallarta actually has three rivers that empty into its waters there. So if you're looking for that beautiful, clean water, you need to go to the north, where we are, to be able to enjoy that all the time. And where our hotel sits, we actually sit on one of the best surf breaks in all of Mexico. We actually sit on Burros Surf Break. So you actually, if you look right smack dab in the middle of the photograph, you're going to see a lineup of surfers there, and just waiting for the set to actually come in. And here in the middle of the photograph, of course, is one of our beautiful, beautiful saltwater pools. So man-made, we realize that everybody may not want to get out into the waves of the ocean, so they can enjoy that saltwater pool right there. But if you're looking for waves, we've got them, and these are that's about what it looks like on a daily basis. So generally about 3 to 4 feet. Terrific for surfers or stand-up paddle surfers. And here we are looking out. We do have shortboards, longboards, stand-up paddle boards, boogie boards, all available for our guests. So if you want to learn how to surf, we do give free surf lessons as well. So just about everything that a water sports enthusiast would enjoy, we have on property for them. And of course, we always have wonderful guests that come to visit us, usually from the November timeframe through April. And that, of course, is the humpback whale migration. And humpback whales actually come right past our hotel, because if you remember, I mentioned we are way to the north and at the top of the Bay of Banderas. So the whales don't come inside the bay; they actually come right past the bay itself, but they come right past our hotel during that period. And so it's not unusual to be standing at the top of the cliff maybe and looking out, having a drink in the early evening, and watching a whale jump out of the water or shaking its fluke and so on. As I said, we have a lot of friends come to our hotel. And, of course, a lot of activities, Hobie caddying and so on. Just to give you an idea as to the look of the property, some new renovations. We've got a new renovated registration area and kind of a seating lobby area near one of our bars. Once again, the look from the other direction outside, you notice, as I said, most of the property sits up on the top of a cliff, and here's our famous saltwater pool again. One of the new sections of the hotel is actually it's actually a new concept to this section. It's called Family Selection, and what we've done here is created an area for families where the kids are the boss, and so the kids have the towels, the T-shirts, the hats, the pails. They have milk and cookies brought to the room at night. They have mini robes, mini slippers, pillow menus, all to choose from. So here they are the boss. So in this section of the property, we've got suites and junior suites for the guests to be able to enjoy. And even for the littlest ones, we've certainly got accommodations for them as well. And on the other side of the property, the Grand Palladium side of the property, for couples, singles, and family, this is the palette of the rooms that you will find. So also with the restaurants, now you're going to see some names that you may remember, La Adelita, El Dorado, and so on, as we have at our other restaurants. And as we have at the other hotels, we have entertainment throughout the property all of the time. And of course, here is La Adelita, my favorite spot. That's why I wanted to kind of show you this. This is actually my favorite spot for the evening. Sit here and have a wonderful, wonderful crab and lobster dinner and enjoy the sun setting, going down, and watch the surfers enjoying the evening. Now, we're going to transfer over to the Caribbean side of the property, our property at Riviera Maya. Here we have 3 Grand Palladiums and 1 TRS. Remember, TRS is 5-star luxury for adults only, but here's the size of our property with a beautiful, beautiful beach out front. And a lot of people are asking, well, how's the seaweed situation? We got very, very lucky this year And the Mexican Navy has actually been kind of trolling out front of the hotel here, certainly near our property, and with a trawler and actually picking up the seaweed. So it's very, very limited this season, which we want to, again, thanks to the Mexican Navy. Now, what's new at our TRS Yucatan property, remember we've got 3 Grand Palladiums and 1 TRS. So we've got Romance Lagoon bungalows, plunge pool suites, chic cabaret, and 6 additional gourmet restaurants just for the guests that are staying with us at TRS. Now, TRS is completely surrounded by lagoon here. So as I mentioned, if your guests are looking for an overwater experience, our lagoon suites are over water, but they're over lagoon, not necessarily over ocean. But they come in at about 1/4 of the price of the over ocean experience. But in terms of the interiors, we are very, very similar. So I mentioned these surround the lagoons at our property. We have 14 on one side of the lagoon and 24 on the other side of the lagoon. So it gives us a kind of a neat Polynesian almost type of experience for the guests that are looking for that personalized romantic experience. And so this is the look of the interior. All the interiors, as I mentioned, all have jacuzzi hot tubs in the rooms. So to give you a look here, all of our romance suites come with a butler. And the neat part here is the fact that if you can kind of see it just through the glass there, all of the units come with a not only the paddles, but what do you paddle in? Well, you paddle in a canoe. So all of them have their own personalized canoe. So in the afternoon, hey, honey, let's go out for a little paddle, and you paddle around the lagoon and then back to your personally romantic units there. Large bathrooms, as you can see, and of course that beautiful Mayan shower just outside, very private, very romantic. Just to the top of the map here, you see 9 buildings in gray, and this is another one of our newest sections at TRS. And these were actually done and reopened in November of 2017, where we actually introduced these to the public. Just an incredible renovation here that we did, introducing the new TRS brand. So these are actually all of our, all the bottom floors are actually come with plunge pools. So these are our plunge pool suites. And we've won all kinds of accolades since we renovated the property and introduced the TRS brand. So here's a Traveler's Choice for 2018. And the pool that we created along with Helios, one of the 6 different restaurants that we introduced into the TRS adults only section, also won lots of accolades. This is the coolest pool of 2019 that we won about 5 months ago. Once again, a lot of the different restaurants that you see on property. And then, of course, Chic Cabaret. Well, Chic Cabaret, we introduced this in literally December of 2017. It is a cabaret restaurant dining and entertainment experience from the time we opened up and about 3 or 4 months later, from that 4 months later, which would be probably about April, till this date. This is the #1 entertainment and dining experience in the entire destination. So we want to make sure that your guests really fully understand what this is, because this is just, people walk away with their jaws dropped open after the 3 hours of dining and entertainment experience that they have at Chic Cabaret. Now, the way Chic Cabaret actually starts is we start about, maybe about a half an hour prior to the performance. There is entertainment out on the patio with acrobats, magicians, all kinds of different acts and so on, along with music. And so the guests can enjoy that for about half an hour to 45 minutes to maybe an hour prior to Chic Cabaret. Chic opens up at 8 o'clock. And of course, these are some of the parties activities you see at our pre-party. So even the pre-party is a huge party. And then at 8 o'clock, the doors open up, the guests come in, and they get seated at this incredible Las Vegas-style dining experience. And then the entertainment starts. For the next 3 to 3.5 hours, you have the most incredible entertainment, anywhere from chic cabaret, from Cirque du Soleil to opera to show tunes, to just on and on and on, nonstop entertainment. And as I said, it is jaw-dropping. So as we move on, give you an idea as to the type of food, and it is just an incredible 7-course gourmet meal to go along with the incredible seating and entertainment and so on that you're experiencing here. So here's almost some of the Cirque du Soleil style acrobatics and entertainment, all the music accompanying the guests here. And of course, our team of entertainers, and the entertainers actually, these are not just your average entertainers that are around the pool and so on during the day. No. These are professionals anywhere from South America to the Ukraine, to Russia, to Cuba, to the U.S., and to Mexico, of course. To actually entertain the chic cabaret is something that a lot of entertainers want to have on their resume. Well, now we're going to move over to the Caribbean and over to Punta Cana, the Dominican Republic. And here we also have 3 Grand Palladium properties and 1 TRS. So there's a lot of things going on here at this particular property. We want to invite everybody back to the Dominican Republic because, again, for experiences, the beautiful beach, the beautiful water, the warmth of people, and so on, there are few places that match this as a vacation or holiday getaway. So here we are, centrally located on Barbaro Beach, one of the most famous beaches in all of Punta Cana. And the new introduction, actually, as of just a few days ago, December 1st, we opened the 3rd Chic Cabaret at our property in Punta Cana, the Dominican Republic. So your guests that are staying there, whether they stay at TRS or staying at Grand Palladium, we want to make sure that Chic Cabaret, the experience is on their list of things to do. If you are a TRS guest, Chic Cabaret will be complimentary. If you are a Grand Palladium guest, Chic Cabaret will be at a nominal fee. But trust me, the experience is certainly worth it. So just another shot of our dinner theater in Punta Cana. Now, a lot of other things to do on property. Here is our wine bar, our wine experience called First Wine. And we invite the guests to be able to come into First Wine and be able to enjoy a wine tasting experience with hundreds of different bottles of wine for their enjoyment. So just one of the many, many types of alternative entertainment that we have for our guests. Just come on in and be able to, because remember, this is an all-inclusive property. Now, if wine, let's say if you don't consume wine, but you love chocolate, come on into the chocolate experience because there are over 300 different types of chocolate to be able to enjoy here at the chocolate experience. It's one of the many features that we have on property. And of course, dining is really a great experience here. So come on in and enjoy the teppanyaki style at Suntory, or the bamboo sushi restaurant, Bogali, which is your Indian style, Chiang Thai, which is a Thai restaurant, and so on. And then we've got Lala, which is almost like a tapas type of restaurant. And of course, the El Dorado, which is the steak restaurant. Once again, our beautiful, beautiful beaches. So this is our property at Barbaro. So this is Grand Palladium Barbaro, the Barbaro Suites. Just to give you an idea of the different types of room accommodations, room types, and room palettes that you'll find on this incredible property. As we take a look at TRS, over on the side, there's 2 sections to TRS. This is what we call the TRS site is closest to the beach, and you'll see the units in the kind of an orange style roofs. The units just behind that are our swim-up suites. So all the lower sections of all these buildings, all are swim-up suites. So if you're looking for that type of accommodation for your guests, you'll be able to enjoy them at TRS here at Tierra Turquesa in the Dominican Republic. Now, still within the Dominican Republic, and only about 10 minutes outside of the Punta Cana airport, is a really neat little property that you think you'll find is great for maybe company meetings and conventions, certainly for destination weddings. This is TRS Cap Cana. The entire property consists of only 115 rooms, but 39 of those rooms are swim-ups. So if you're looking for a type of property where, let's say, the wedding party wants to be able to almost take over the entire property, they can do that here. As I said, it's only 115 rooms, but very, very close to the airport and literally only 10 minutes away from the Cap Cana airport. In terms of venues for destination weddings, all the way out at the point there of that jetty is really, really very, very popular area for the ceremonies and so on. And of course, there's an area right around the middle of these coconut trees, for example, also another great spot for destination weddings. And then, of course, for the parties and so on, the parties never stop out here. You just imagine the type of enjoyment that your group would have because they're almost all by themselves. So now, what if there was one resort that was perfect for each type of client? Because you're going to have couples, and you're going to have singles, and you're going to have families, and so on. Well, is there one? Yep, there certainly is. And that is our newest property, opened in November of last year, and that is Costa Mujeres. Costa Mujeres consists of the Grand Palladium for couples, singles, and families, and TRS 5-star luxury for adults only. And again, we're about 35 minutes to the north of the Cancun airport, so we've got really something for everybody there. We've got a whole hotel called Family Selection that is, once again, just for families where we feature the kids for the kids are boss. We have a chic cabaret there. We've got 51,000 square foot Centropia Spa. The whole property is surrounded by 3,000 meters of lagoon, and we feature here only two in the world, one of which is on our property, and that is the Rafa Nadal Tennis Academy. So here's the whole property itself. The gray would be TRS, the blue would be Grand Palladium, and then the brown roofs are what we call our village. And it's a wonderful spot in the evening, be able to come through, choose your different restaurants. If you're staying at Grand Palladium, very, very close. If you're staying over at TRS, you have 6 different restaurants just for your own choices. The beautiful contemporary architecture, as you can see. Here's our registration area. And then from one section, we actually have 4 different buildings in the Grand Palladium project. Here we now are looking out towards the ocean. So to give you an idea, one of our many, many pools. Lots and lots of entertainment. The village is actually just to your left outside the photograph. But you look down in and you look along the lagoon there, and you'll see how we get around. And I'll show you that in just a second. Very special feature there. Lots and lots of pools for your guests to be able to enjoy. And incredible ocean features as well. We've got junior suites and loft suites for the guests to be able to enjoy different types of configurations, but you'll see the palette styles. Very luxuriously appointed bathrooms. And actually, let me back up. Back up one and describe a little something too. That glass wall that you see there, that actually can be 2 different things. Either it can become opaque, or we actually have a curtain that you'll press. An electronic curtain comes down and closes that off and makes it very, very private. So nice private area for bathrooms and so on. Then these are the loft suites. I mentioned they got junior suites and loft suites. So wonderful seating area down below and the bedroom section up above. Down below, of course, is going to have a pull-out couch to make into a bed, so great for families. And then our incredible beach. Remember, we're just offshore. You can actually see it in the photograph. We're just offshore from East Little Harris. That's about 5 kilometers across the water from us. Our beaches are very, very clean water, very beautiful, because the current goes north-south as opposed to onshore. So it keeps a lot of that seaweed away from us. And of course, the guests certainly enjoy all the different types of activities in and around our pool areas. And here's how we get around. There are 8 stops along the way. So if you want to get from one part of the property to the other part of the property, you just take the lagoon taxi. And there's actually 8 Canadian-made electronic boats that go from one stop to the next. So here we're looking at stop number 2 on the area of 8 different stops. So it's a wonderful way to get around from one section of the property to the other. Always want to create an experience out of just even something simple as getting around from one part of the property to the next. Now, once again, we're going to take a look at other parts of the property. The family selection, I'll back up. Let me back up one more and show you where that family selection could be. And that's going to be the yellow building. So, as I said, family selection is a building within itself, has its own concierge, an own registration area just for the families and the kids to be able to enjoy. Comes with lots of different activities, 24-hour check-in. As I said, a pillow menu for the kids. Family Boss welcome kit, many robes, many slippers, many towels. There is unpacking and packing service, so moms will certainly enjoy that part. And of course, there is an a la carte breakfast, lunch, and dinner right on the premise of the building itself, so the kids don't have to go too far to grab a meal. The buildings themselves consist of both the junior suite and loft suite types of accommodations. So depending on the size of your family or the type of accommodations you'd like to choose from either of those two. But to give you an idea of just the types of things that we have for the kids there, and then once again, kids come in all different ages, don't they? So if you've got the infants, we certainly have the bedding accommodations for them. And remember, all of the Palladium Hotel Group properties all come with water parks. So there is a water park at each and every one of our hotels. Now, also, the wonderful part about it is the kids' clubs. Think about this, Mom and Dad. The kids' clubs are open till 11 p.m. every single night. And all the kids' clubs and there's actually 3 different ones, and they're all age appropriate. So in terms of the activities and the way the colors are and the types of programs that we have, again, all age appropriate. So we're not going to have an 8-year-old doing the same thing that a 15-year-old would do, nor a 3-year-old doing the same thing an 8-year-old would do. So as we move on, one thing we wanted to make sure that you are aware of, and I'll kind of throw this out there for you. If you're looking to expand the scope of your business, actually into sports groups and so on, the Rafa Nadal Tennis Academy, as I said, there's only 2 in the world. Rafa's #1 tennis player in the world, actually has this large academy in Mallorca, Spain, but he is actually used to be junior tennis partners with the owner of our hotel company. And when he said, whenever you build a new hotel, of which we did, he said, I want to open my next tennis academy in North America at your property. And so we did. But as you look, to be able to introduce this type of concept to schools, to universities, to tennis clubs, and so on, this can be a whole new section of business for you guys, because they all come with Spanish clay courts. And of course, Spanish clay is a very unique surface type, and a lot of the tennis players around the world are going to clamor to enjoy this type of service to be able to actually play on. And it is a full service academy. So all of the pros that come here are actually trained in Rafa's style of playing tennis. They come from his academy in Mallorca, and there are camps. There's camps for adults. There are programs for kids. Anyone trying to get from one level to the next, we do have a program for them. But if the guests want to just come and play tennis, they're welcome to do that as well. But for the most part, it is a true academy. So Pro Chef down below, but up above is really the neat part about this, because it becomes a museum. And so, you know, Rafa's won 12 French Opens. So if you want to see the jersey that he won the French Open in, for example, it'll be right there at his museum. But if you want to see a Wimbledon trophy or a French Open trophy or an Australian trophy or a U.S. Open, many of them are actually housed within the museum right there. Here he is winning the 12th French Open this year. And of course, I mentioned the spa. So 51,000 square foot of spa at our Zentropia Spa here at Costa Mujeres. Multi-level, upstairs, downstairs, just about every kind of spa feature that you can think of. So remember, this is where you would have guests who would want to go for a spa vacation rather than, oh, gee, by the way, we just had a spa there. So again, just about every kind of treatment that you can find, and it is clearly a world-class spa. Now, I don't want to mention this to our Canadian friends. There's certainly friends that are up in the Northeast, but we spent $300,000 on a snow room. So yes, if you enjoy that type of environment during your spa experience, we do have a snow room for you, and it actually does snow in Cancun. But we have other features like Himalayan salt rooms for breathing therapies and so on. I mentioned it comes in two different levels. Now, if you're hungry, hey, let's go off to the Village. And the Village is, remember, the brown roofs there. Unless you're a TRS, if you're a TRS, we've got 6 different restaurants just for your luxury. But if you're hungry and you're staying at Grand Palladium, let's trot off to the Village. So here, it's kind of the start of the walking area of the Village. So we want to introduce to you to our conference center here. Holds about 1,150 people there. But as we move on, we're going to give you an idea as to what the activity looks like in the evening in our Village. So here's the entrance. And here you'll have all your restaurants down below, restaurants up above, sports bars, and so on. Just incredible walking entertainment area with all kinds of activities every single night. This theater, for example, and there's theater entertainment or something going on within this every single night. This seats about 500 people. Now, we don't want to forget, it's a great spot for destination weddings and so on. All of our property, or actually most of our properties, I'll say that, have consecrated Catholic churches on property. So this is our consecrated church on property at Costa Mujeres. Once again, our very famous restaurants, sports bar called Ultra Time. Pia Cherries, this is kind of Starbucks on steroids. Great spot. Show cooking buffet restaurants with all kinds of just wonderful themed restaurants and chic cabaret. And it's mentioned, as guests go here 3.5 hours later, they come out and their mouths are just dropped open. They have just had never seen that type of entertainment outside of Las Vegas. And of course, our incredible, luxurious TRS Coral for adults only, one of the leading hotels of the world. So here we have 469 suites, all Ibiza-style club. The lower floors are all swim-ups. So here, when you come in and check in, your butler will take you up to the room. They'll give you an orientation as to all of the wonderful features, how to order food. You want to order breakfast, lunch, and dinner lobster right off your menu on your television, you can do so. And they'll give you an orientation as to the many different restaurants, how to work your your iPhone or your Android, for example, to be able to order food directly off of your phone or use transportation if you want to. As I mentioned, 5 incredible gourmet restaurants just for the pleasure of our TRS guests. Of course, if you want to, we do have the other 9 in the village that our TRS guests are certainly welcome to. So you've got 9 plus 5, so 14 different dining experiences for their entertainment. We do have an Argentinian restaurant, and it's not unusual that you may see an Argentinian tango going on right during the middle of your meal at our incredible Argentinian restaurant. Sky Bar for the evening. If you want to go up in the early evening and just grab a drink and enjoy the sights, nothing better to come up into our Sky Bar here. And 3 different choices of rooming types: junior suites, loft suites, and swim-up suites at TRS Coral. You can see the luxurious bathrooms and so on. Beautiful spots for a very, very adult-style, romantic experience. So a great spot for getaways. And nothing better to be able to just kind of walk out, lay in your bolly bed, stick your feet in the water, really, really enjoy it. And well, hi, how are you? And are you enjoying your stay? Well, yes, I am. As you put your feet in the water, just enjoying the day. So here we are. That is the presentation for Grand Palladium and TRS. I'm going to back up 1. Oops. There we go. And I wanted to make sure that all of you register with Palladium Connect, which is our reward program. So it's www.palladiumconnect.com. Make sure that you go on, you register. There'll be some tutorials there. I'll actually pay you $10 for each tutorial that you complete. From there, once you complete that, then you'll sell your first Palladium package. When you do so, the money that you earned as maybe a bonus or the payment that we add on for completion of the tutorials gets added to the bonus that you receive for your first package, and then you can get that in the form of a MasterCard, or you can redeem that for hotel stays if you'd like. Now, for additional information, you always want to make sure that you connect with your local BDM. So if you're in the U.S., you're in the Northeast, based in New Jersey is Francina Mason. Mid-Atlantic, Jennifer Horan. Jennifer's actually in Charlotte, North Carolina. Will Kalki. Will is actually in Chicago. If you're anywhere near the Gulf states, on up to Florida, from Texas to Florida, that's going to be Claudia Espinosa. I'm Tom Abbott, and I'm kind of in the Midwest, or kind of North Texas area, up through the middle of the Midwest. And then Enrique Velasquez, and Enrique is actually California and surrounding areas up along the West Coast. Now, if you're actually in Eastern Canada, for example, your contact is actually going to be Shebnam Reichman, and Sheb is actually based in Toronto, and you can contact her, and I'll actually read this out to you. It's bdm.easterncanada@palladiumhotelgroup.com. Then her telephone number then would be 647-297-8765. So at this point, if there's any questions, Serena, I'll turn it back to you. And I want to say thank you all for your patience, and I hope you found something that you saw that you liked and you enjoyed.
Thank you so much, Tom. That was fantastic. We do have a few questions, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in.
Okay.
The first one, of course, is there any fams coming up to this fabulous resort?
Well, actually, they're fams all the time, but you'll need to contact your local BDM because they actually, how do I put it? we don't have a single calendar. Each of the BDMs kind of handle the FAMs on their own. So depending on where you're located, and I'll leave that right there, you can contact your BDM and then they'll let you know when their next available FAM would be.
Fantastic. Thank you. Now, one of the agents is asking about what is the best honeymoon suites. I believe this is about one of the resorts you were talking to about in the very beginning.
Well, let's see. I need to know the destination and the property to kind of be able to guide them. If they have that question, if they want to send it to me via email, I can certainly answer it to them right away. Or if we can figure out, while we're here, if we can figure out which particular property they're looking at, then I can answer that.
No problem. I just asked them. So while they are replying, I'm going to go ahead.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and ask you another question while that gets a reply. You were also talking about a lot of different activities being offered, like yoga, paddleboarding, etc. Are these free or are these additional costs? Okay.
No, that's the fun part. It's all inclusive, so everything is totally complimentary.
Perfect. Now, in regards to the Chic Cabaret, one of the agents here is saying, in regards to the Chic Cabaret, one of the agents here is expressing that some of their clients have had difficulty coordinating with their butler the right times, or I guess being able to attend well. They're wondering if there's something being done about this to make sure that people are able to attend the Chic Cabaret, and they also want to know if in 2020 there will be any charges for it.
Well, okay. Now, as far as Chic Cabaret, a couple of recommendations that I would do. Yes, if you're staying at TRS, when you arrive, your butlers can certainly handle the reservation for you. But we actually try to make that a little bit easier because there's an e-butler feature that's actually on our website. And so if your guests are staying at TRS, they can just go ahead, if they want to, a week or 2 weeks ahead of time, just go ahead and make reservations via e-butler as opposed to waiting until they're there with the butler to make reservations for Chic. So if that happens. Now, in terms of cost for TRS, we understand that in the future there may be a $20 surcharge, and it hasn't been confirmed, but there may be a $20 surcharge for TRS guests where it was totally complimentary. But for the guests at Grand Palladium, there has always been a charge for that if you're staying at Grand Palladium, and so that's around, I believe it's around $100. But if you think about going anywhere for entertainment, you have the pre-show, you have the 7-course meal, you have 3 hours of the most incredible entertainment. And I don't know if you could price that out anywhere, certainly under $100. So that's a very, very reasonable expectation in terms of cost.
Yeah, absolutely not. I don't know how you would get it under 100. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You did mention about Grand Palladium, but in general, from other Palladium resorts, visiting other TRS properties, are they able to do that? Can they go to their buffets, for example? Can they use their pools, their beaches?
Well, now, okay, it's kind of a very simple rule. If you're at Grand Palladium, you cannot come over to TRS. If you're at TRS, you can use all facilities at Grand Palladium. So, for example, as I mentioned, if you are a TRS guest, for example, and one of the you have 6 different restaurants to choose from, but let's say your palate is more for teppanyaki style Japanese, then you can simply come on over. You're welcome to come on over and enjoy any of the other restaurants over on the Grand Palladium side. Now, the nice feature for a TRS guest is that no reservations are required at any of our restaurants. However, if you are a TRS guest, and let's say you want to come over to the Teppanyaki restaurant, which is over on the Grand Palladium side, you can actually ask your butler to make a reservation for you, and they'll do that. So whereas with no reservations required, if you're a Grand Palladium guest and you may walk into let's say walk into the tapas restaurant, for example, and you walk in at 7:30. Well, you may, depending on the crowd, you may or may not have a wait there. If you're a TRS guest, though, and they say, well, gee, I want to walk in at 7:35, then you'll walk directly into the restaurant at 7:35. So it's just a nice special feature that we do offer our TRS guests.
Perfect. Sounds good. Now, in reference to the honeymoon, there is a travel agent here who has a couple that's getting married in Edmonton, and they're looking for a great destination for their honeymoon. And she was looking at one of the photos of the Swim Out Suites and would like a recommendation from you about where they should go.
Okay, and I apologize. She was looking at a photo of what now?
The Swim Out Suites.
Okay, and I apologize. The transmission didn't come over. I'm sorry. I missed the last part of the sentence.
The Swim Out Suites.
Oh, the Swim Up Suite.
Yes.
Well, let's see. I'll tell you. I mean, I'll just tell you from a popularity standpoint, because most from a destination wedding standpoint, in my mind, the two more popular, well, actually three. Jamaica is obviously a very popular destination. So it's, first of all, you got to choose the destination. But if you're choosing the hotel, my favorite probably would be Riviera Maya and the new Costa Mujeres property. In terms of the guests, obviously the two most popular room types are going to be, if you're looking for what I would consider that kind of that ultimate privacy, it's going to be the romance suites that are over the lagoon. Those are, as I said, they're very, very private. You've got the outdoor shower that's all completely private, so on. But you're there and you don't see anybody else around. The rooms the newly created rooms that we did at TRS Yucatan, which were the ones up towards the ocean, they do have plunge pools, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's complete. Some are a little bit more private than others. Let's put it that way, because the ones that are backed up to the jungle, obviously nobody is walking by or nearby. But the ones that facing, I would say probably facing away from the pool area, there are walkways and so on there, so that you may see some guests coming by. So, but the plunge pools are romantic. Quite frankly, as I showed you, I think the romance villa suites in Jamaica that are part of our Lady Hamilton section, those are just, to me, those are awesome, because once again, that's that self-contained, very, very romantic, nobody around type of experience that they would get. Now, as far as a destination wedding versus a destination, of course, there's destination honeymoons and destination weddings. As far as the weddings are concerned, probably my two favorite spots are, well, three. I'll add Jamaica in there. Jamaica, the Riviera Maya, and Costa Mujeres. The Costa Mujeres property being new, it has literally, as I mentioned, it has everything. So depending on the makeup of the destination wedding groups, because sometimes you've got kids, so you've got to think about accommodations for children, accommodations for Aunt Lucy, Rich Uncle Harry, and Aunt Margaret. What the property to the north of Cancun has literally everything. The property to the south of Cancun, still, once again, fantastic opportunities, and of course, just visually beautiful.
Lovely, thank you. We do have a couple other questions actually about Chic Cabaret and the entertainment.
Okay.
So there is one person, actually did kind of answer this earlier. They have a wedding party going to Grand Palladium, but they would like to come see the Chic Cabaret at TRS Resort, so they would just have to pay around $100, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that is that. And is Chic Cabaret family friendly? Could kids go with adults, or is it just adults only?
It's a cabaret. So another, and I tell people, a lot of people don't relate cabaret to the style of entertainment. So it's an adult style entertainment.
Yeah. So
not for children. Yeah.
I know some people sometimes think that maybe it's just kind of music, but yeah.
No, not at all. Well, it's incredible music, but as in anything, more of the adult style and entertainment is it's more pleasing. It is how do I put this? It's more pleasing, but more exciting to an adult group that really would enjoy the type of variations of entertainment as well. As I said, it's anywhere from opera to show to Cirque du Soleil to just any style that you can think of is addressed at Chic during its 3.5 hours of total entertainment.
Fantastic. And I just want to let travel agents know at this point, but I do have one more question here. But if you do have any more questions, feel free to type them in now. And like I said, you can always contact Tom, you can contact any of the other BDMs after this as well, and I will send out contact information in the follow-up email. As for our last question, one of the agents would like to know if any of the Palladium resorts are vegan friendly.
Certainly, yes, and that's the neat part about all of our restaurants and all of our properties. If there is a specific diet type or type of allergy, for example, that the guest may have, one of the first questions that the guests are asked is number one, is there a food allergy? Number two, we have certainly more and more, and it's just more and more popular, vegan menus and so on. So they're available at all of our restaurants.
Thank you so much. We do have one other question. They're asking if you offer guided tours.
Now, guided tours as in off-property type tours, or?
I'm assuming so, but I'm also going to ask here.
Yeah, at each of our, of course, at each of our hotels there are tour desks and so on. So if you're looking for off-property type of experiences and so on, they can be all done either. They can be how do I put this? They can be arranged either on property or actually through your favorite tour operator. If, for example, now I'm going to ask it I'm going to assume that actually another part of the question is site inspections. And site inspections, if you are in the area, site inspections can be arranged. Just let your local BDM know when you may be available, and then we can make site inspection opportunities available for you at any time at any of our properties.
They are actually referring to outside location tours and
okay.
places to visit and explore. Yeah.
Yeah, either on property or through your favorite tour operator.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you so much, everybody, for attending the webinar today. Like I said, you're going to have to stay tuned to see who will win the prize. Thank you so much, Tom. You have been fantastic. And thank you for being with us for an hour now, talking into the screen. We appreciate it a lot. You were great.
Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it for the opportunity. Hope you learned something. Thanks.